that we're sending off today. A lot of rightful homes that need these wallets. And there's a good amount of different items and leathers, including Cordovan, Chromexcel, and Dublin. It'll give me a good chance to sort of explain some of the differences of those materials. So let's take a look at some of the stuff on the table here that we're going to prep out and ship out. And here we go. All right, so the first one I pulled, and by the way, everything that we're going to get in the video here still needs to get a little bit of edge finishing and polishing. So some of them might be incomplete. So for example, on this Gus card case, we still need to stain some of the edges and get this one polished up. Hi, Jesse. Good morning. This is our Gus card case. I really enjoyed using this design. We originally designed this one with business cards in mind, so it's a little bit wider than most wallets, and it also doesn't have any sort of snap closure or like a band closure for the flap to fold over and tuck into. And we actually experimented with that. I have the original prototypes where we put like a little band to slip the flap into, but I just found it to be too cumbersome to use. And then I was wearing one that was just like this, and the flap just molds into place as you wear it. So all the Gus card cases are made in veg tan leather, which will mold and conform to everything you put inside. Hi, Wes. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Steven. You got your Fat Herbie? Yeah, maybe we already got you in the video. There is another irregular Fat Herbie. Maybe we'll go to the irregulars first. Somebody was messaging me about this Fat Herbie, and this is an all reverse color 8 Shell Cordovan Fat Herbie. This is an irregular wallet, which we have a couple irregular items still available. But this is the only all reverse color 8. And you can see the ink stamp was cut just about perfectly into the back pattern there, which is great. And then we also have an ink stamp on the interior left. And that's something you tend to get with the reverse Cordovan, because each piece of Shell Cordovan gets stamped with that Shell Cordovan ink stamp. And then you also get all these random dye marks. So you can see the drips on the right, which makes each piece of reverse Cordovan just a little bit more unique. And this is a Capone money clip in the Dublin leather. So if I look closely at this one, you can see there's a very intense grain character to the Dublin leather, which is very, very beautiful. And it's very different than something like the Shell Cordovan, which is very, very smooth. That's one of the big differences between the Cordovan and the Dublin. Cordovan's very bright and shiny as well. The Dublin has a nice luster too. You can see on this black, it's not as bright and shiny as the shell that we were just looking at a second ago. So very intense grain character on the Dublin. And then we also have English tan Dublin. These are both irregular John of the Foxes in English tan Dublin. And we have steer hide on the outside with that really incredible grain character. There's a lot of figuring in this as well. And here's a look at the inside. These are actually horsehide interiors. And if you look closely at the grain of horsehides, it's distinct, very different than the grain on the steer hides, even in the same leather tannage like the Dublin here. Here's a look at the last one. Each piece of Dublin is also very unique, especially in the lighter colors. You see a little bit more range of color. And you also notice the grain character is a little bit different from piece to piece. So sometimes it's fun to see a couple different next to each other. Just look at the inside with the horsehide here. So those are the irregulars that we're sending off. And back to the regular scheduled wallet programming here. We've got a Bugs Moran. This is our traditional card layout. It was good to see a comment from somebody yesterday saying to please not remove the Dublin from our offerings. Or excuse me, please not remove the traditional card holders from our offerings. So this is our traditional Bugs Moran. We don't have the vertical card slots on this one. So I'm starting to distinguish the difference. This is natural Shell Cordovan, really beautiful piece of leather here. Shell Cordovan can come in several different colors, but they all tend to be earth tones. And even when you do a brighter color like a blue, they still tend to be pretty dark. So you can't really get bright, shiny colors in veg tan, hot stuff leather like the Chromexcel. And I was also mentioned, since we're trying to compare leathers briefly, the Chromexcel leather that is this belt here, this is brown Chromexcel, is also hot stuffed. And Nick Horwin and myself, we're going to record a podcast this week, hopefully to talk about Chromexcel a little bit. And when I say something like hot stuffing, that is a method in which a tannery will impart raw waxes and oils into the leather, and it gives it a really, really rich feel. But one of the side effects of it is you can only sort of get earth tones out of it because there's just so much wax and oil in there. You can't really get bright shades. So Chromexcel as well as Shell Cordovan are both hot stuffed. And this one here is very similar to the natural that we just looked at. But you can see that this color is a little bit darker, and that's because this is Whiskey Shell Cordovan. This is one of our private stock Capone money clips. So we've got Whiskey Shell with a cream stitching on the outside and a reverse interior, and I really like reverse interiors for most wallets. I find it just age a little bit better. Here's another Giant of the Fox, our most popular style here, English Tan Dublin. This one's like a little bit more yellowy. Hi, BFET, good morning. A really nice grain character on all the Dublin, and I really like how our wallets are turning out right now. Very, very clean, especially on something like this Giant of the Fox. And it's tough to make with all those layers of leather you can see on the inside here. It's tough to make it really, really clean looking. And our team's doing a really nice job here. Let's get a look at another Giant of the Fox, and this is a private stock also in one of my favorite Shell Cordovan colors. This is color number 4 Shell Cordovan. Super, super nice shade. It's a medium brown with some more reddish undertones, almost like a little bit orangey sometimes. It's really nice. Hi, Joseph. Good morning. And here's a look at the inside. This is a reverse interior, which again, I like very much, especially combined with the color 4 on the outside. Really special Giant of the Fox there. Here's another English tan piece on the Capone money clip. And we've got another Capone here, also in color 4. These turned out great. Really like the look. It's interesting that the cream color stitching that we use on this wallet sort of makes everything look a little bit more framed out. I really like the look of it, is what I'm trying to say. So color 4 shell on the outside with a reverse interior on that private stock Capone. Sending out today. And here's another one, Giant of the Fox. You can see the striations in this one. They're a little bit more dramatic than the one we just looked at previously, which again, each piece of Dublin is just a little bit different. Here is the Frank the Enforcer. This is one of our only wallets that does not fold in half. So this is more, we had people in mind that more of like a front pocket wear for something like this. You can also see the tops of these 2 card holders have the black hand stained edge, but we still need to finish this one off. We need to sand and bevel and hand stain all the edges. So when this is complete, it's a really, really clean look with all the black edges on a black shell. I really like how our hand stained edges are turning out. Here is another Capone money clip, and we made a couple of these. This is a leather that we're trying to move away from for the wallets. This is natural Chromexcel, and it's sad to move away from it. It's a really beautiful leather. It has a really great feel, incredibly rich and waxy and oily, but it's pretty tough to keep it scratch-free in production. This is a really clean one. But the Chromexcel, even though it is a hard-wearing leather, to keep it fresh and clean looking, it's pretty difficult to not dent, scuff, or scratch it, and even just storing it in our shop here. So we're starting to move away from it. It's also a little bit less popular of a leather than something like the English tan. People are more interested in the Dublin right now, it seems. Here is one of my favorite wallets, one of our most recent offerings. This is the small zip wallet. And you can see it zips all the way around from the top to the bottom. This one's in teal latigo, which looks great. And I need to put the phone down here so I can open this guy up. All right. So on the inside of this one, what makes it even cooler is we have a teal interior. So this is 100% teal on the small zip. And the insides, we actually use, there's so much leather inside of here that we need to have thinner leather for the interiors of this as well as the Giant of the Fox. So we use the horse hides on the inside, and this is actually steer hide on the outside. So if you look closely, again, you'll notice the grain character is very different on both of those. A couple more things to look at before I thank everybody directly. Get my tripod fixed here. One of my favorite wallets that we do, in fact, I'm wearing a Fat Herbie. I've been wearing one for the last year or so in a couple different leathers. This is the English Tan Dublin Fat Herbie. And I really like this one. You can also see we still have not finished the edges off on this one. So it's going to get a little bit cleaner looking as we clean it up today. That's the goal for today. Hi, Dia. Good morning. And my favorite shell color, I saved my favorite for last. Amaretto Shell Cordovan, also on the Fat Herbie. And Amaretto Shell Cordovan kind of reminds me of the same color as the English Tan. So I'll try to demonstrate quickly. So we've got the Amaretto on the top there, English Tan on the bottom. They're pretty similar shades. The Dublin's a little bit darker because of that wax layer that they finish onto the surface. But if you look down the spine where the leather has been flexed, we're sort of bursting that wax layer off the grain, and you get this sort of two-tone effect, as you can see here. And definitely more grainy the Dublin is compared to the Cordovan, which is very, very, very flat, very, very smooth, and very shiny. I just love both of these colors. I think there's a reason that the English Tan is our most popular. It seems like most people feel like that matches their style best. So speaking of which, English Tan Dublin belt sent off today, as well as the brown Chromexcel we just looked at. It's interesting that we don't, it's interesting to me because I feel like this English Tan color looks best on blue jeans. It really looks nice with jeans. But I think there's still a trope of people trying to match their belt to their footwear. So we don't do as many English Tan belts as we used to. When we first launched these, this was our most popular color by a lot for belts. But now it seems like more people are interested in the natural Chromexcel, the brown Chromexcel. We also have black Chromexcel, navy Chromexcel. There's a lot of footwear made out of those leathers that people seem to want to match their belt to. So that's what we're trying to make these for. Anyways, let's flip it back around here. And thank you guys directly. And everybody that showed up to the live stream. I know it's roughly this time every day that I do them, but I know it's like I don't have a schedule or an announcement when I do it. So it's awesome that people actually show up. We'll take a couple minutes here. If you guys had any questions or wanted to chat about anything, please feel free to drop a comment, and I'd be happy to chat for a couple more minutes. But I also, you know what? Let me give you a sneak preview for what I'm working on today. Check this out. We've got some incredible looking marbled Cordovan that I took some photos of, and I'm gonna make a nice like proper video of these and release them as private stock. Check that out. Absolutely insane, these marbled pieces. And each of these are gonna have to get their own product page because they're so different. Every piece is a little bit different and unique, and they're really, really nice. So I'm very excited. That's what I'm gonna work on as soon as we're done here, to try to make a nice video of these and then release them hopefully this week. And one more thing I want to mention before I forget is that tomorrow I'm filming 3 podcast episodes, so we're not gonna be able to do the live chat tomorrow. So I won't see you again here until Friday for one of these live things in the morning. But yeah, if you guys had any questions, happy to chat for a couple minutes here. And let's thank everybody individually. So we got Tung, Henry, Jason, Justin, Angelinda, Eric, Kenneth, Paul, David, Benjamin, Travis, Kevin, Jonathan, Dalton, Jeffrey, Cynthia, Jeff, Kyle, James, Bosco, and Carson. Thank you guys so much. Steven says, or BFET says, would you guys ever take it upon yourself to venture into the world of footwear? I've been asked that question a few times. I don't have a desire to do that. I mean, I love shoes and I love boots, but I don't think I would want to do that unless I saw a reason to. So if there were people or footwear brands not doing a great job and I thought I could do better, then I would like to do that. But at the moment, that's not a plan. Although I love shoes and boots, so good question. Steven says, will you be using Nomad's adapters for the Apple Watch straps? The Nomad buckle on my wrist here, that has like a Nomad branding on it, but the adapter that attaches to the watch itself there doesn't have any Nomad branding on it. I don't know if that answers your question, Steven. Joseph says, live chat before work is the best. I'm glad to hear it, man. Glad that you could be here. Marlena says, do the Apple Watch straps work for 40mm watches? So yes, and our standard ones do not. So Marlena, if you want an Apple Watch band to fit your Apple Watch, which I believe is the smaller option of the 2 size choices that Apple offers, We have them, but you have to special request it. So the easiest thing to do would be to just email my brother. His name is Matt, and his email address is info@ashlandleather.com. Just say, hey, I've got a 40mm Apple Watch. I want this leather. Can you help me with it? And we can pop on different adapters to fit your watch. But it seems like the reason that we've only done one size currently is we want to stock everything and have it available and ready to ship when we can. And then having all those size iterations becomes a challenge. So we try to streamline it and then take these special requests, which seem to be kind of rare, to be honest. It seems like most people have those larger Apple Watches, like the 44, 45 millimeters now. So we just put those up by default. But yeah, if you want to email Matt, he can help you out. Big Cheese, what's up, man? Good morning. When you carry your Fat Herbie in the back pocket, do you wear it crease side to the... Oh, that's a good question. So here's my Herbie. Whoa, almost spilled my coffee. By the way, this color is really nice. Let's see. When I think I'm putting it fold side out. So I put it in my back right pocket, and the spine of the wallet is towards the outside of my body, like this way, if that makes sense. But, you know, I've seen, I know, for example, Skip Horween likes to rotate his from one direction to another when he wears it. So it sort of, I don't know, you'll notice your butt mark, it sort of bows out the wallet a little bit. So he sort of flips it back and forth and gets his patina going on both sides. That's a good question, though. Marlene, you're already chatting with Matt. Yeah, just happy. Sure, he'd be happy to help you with an Apple Watch band in the size 40. So yeah, he'll be here. Give him about an hour and a half. He'll be responding to emails around 11:30 our time. New Apple Watch strap seems to carry a different type of adapter. Are you having issues with it, Steven? And I believe you, because I think you've probably picked up many Apple Watch straps. And I think we have a couple different adapter types. There have been people that were having issues with one of the adapters. It's weird. Like we'll test them on my watch, and they work nicely. And it's like 1 out of 100 seem to not attach properly. So we get them sent back. So we've been trying different adapters also. But if you're having issues, Stephen, we can mail you more adapters of different styles if you need them. Because I know that you have probably a bunch of watch bands by now. So yeah, if you're having issues, definitely let me know. All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you very much. Look forward to, I don't know how long, I got a lot going on today. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to film that video with the marbled black, but I would expect to have that today or tomorrow, maybe even Friday, because I have to make all the product pages for the next private stock stuff. Chad says, thoughts on polishing shell with water and a spoon, not the reverse side. It will work great. Yeah, you might be referencing the video I put up years ago where I polished in the reverse side of the shell with a spoon and some water. You can do that same thing on the shell side. And a lot of people do. But I suppose the first questions I would have is, what do you not like about it now? And what do you want to improve upon? Sometimes if you have a scratch that is scratched this direction, you can put a spoon and then push it in the opposite direction. So the fibers of that scratch get pushed back in place the other way. Some people do that, but you're kind of, from what I've seen, you can fill in and hide and sort of minimize the look of the scratches in the shell pretty easily, but you'll never hide it completely. It's always going to be scratched, but it's interesting because the more you wear a piece of shell, the more it seems to blend in just naturally. It's kind of strange how that works, but usually my advice to people is just to wear it and love it. The thing's not gonna, if it breaks, we'll fix it for free. But to me, like babying a wallet, especially if you're gonna throw it in a bag or put it in your pocket, it's gonna get scratched up against keys or something like that. But yeah, with minor scuffs and scratches, what I've had really good success with, I actually did a video with these Viberg shell boots that you might want to check out. I mean, these are boots, so like they've been scuffed and scratched a lot, and I haven't polished these in a long time. All I did with these was put a little bit of moisture on it and brushed them, and it seemed to really clean them up a lot. So it's kind of an interesting, like, talk out of both sides of my mouth thing there, where you don't really have to do much, but it's almost like a trust me sort of situation where it's like just wear it and love it, and the stuff tends to blend in itself. But if you have like something that you are looking at on your wallet or boots or something that you really, really are upset with, just send me a photo and I can give like very specific guidance on how I think you might want to take care of it. But yeah, good questions today, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys, and everybody, again, everybody that's picked up something over the last 24 hours or so. Your wallet was in the video today, and I'm very, very grateful for all of you guys supporting us, and even just hanging out in the chat here. It's just so great that we can share leather together. So I appreciate you guys very much, Chad and Steven, Big Cheese, Marlena was here. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of people. Joseph, BFET, thank you guys so much. Dia was here. Braden, good morning. I think I missed you earlier. Jaren, cool. All right, guys, got a lot to do here. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you later.